Look, most people believe that fear goes away before you act, and that's a lie. Because fear doesn't go away when you're thinking about it. It doesn't go away just because you've learned about a topic, and it certainly doesn't go away until you have done the thing over and over and over and over again. Repetition is what's going to kill the fear, right? And here's the truth that most people do not want to hear. A lot of the reasons that we're afraid to do something is because we're so afraid of what somebody's going to think about us, right? We're allowing them to control us, to get inside of our head. We worry so much about the opinions of others that we're not able to do the things that we really want to do. Now, the very first time that you do something, whether it be making an offer, going on a marathon, doing something that you really want to do, like doing these first few videos, you're going to suffer from this fear. You're going to suffer from worrying about the opinions of others. And so that heart is sitting here and it's pounding, and your mind starts racing and asking yourself, why are you doing this? What are people going to think? And those are the things that we have to start avoiding, because we can't worry about judgment, about what if I mess up? What if they start judging me? Because you know what? Some people are going to judge you. Some people are going to make comments about you. But at the end of the day, do you really care about the opinions of the naysayers? About the opinions of those that are not sitting in the arena with you while you're making these mistakes and you're going through these processes over and over again? Because at the end of the day, you're going to become something special. And you're going to be able to do this thing as long as you don't let the fear hold you back. Now, when it's something new, your brain starts to label this as something dangerous. But here's the fact of the matter. As you start to repeat this action over and over and over again, and it's something that I always saw in the wrestlers. In the beginning, they're getting just defeated and they're down on themselves. And as they're doing this takedown over and over, they're getting better. They're keeping their ear close to the hip. They're doing the little tiny things. They're completing their 1,000 repetitions. All of a sudden, that thing they were afraid to do becomes easy. Now they're looking at other things they can add to it. Now, the first time, yeah, it's terrifying. And the first couple of times, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. And after 10, 15, 20 times, even 100 times, it starts to become manageable. But when you start to hit that 100 or 200 or 300 reps, all of a sudden, this thing that you thought you weren't going to be able to do becomes easy, becomes doable. And then all of a sudden, you're not only finding out how to do it, you're learning how to make it better. And that's when you start to climb the ladder and become great at something. Now, fear won't disappear just because you're smart. And it's not going to disappear just because you got lucky one time. Fear is going to go away because you've actually trained your brain to understand that it's okay to be afraid, that you're not concerned about the opinions of all of these other people. And once you start hitting that point, the fear is going to start to fade away. As you're not worried about the opinion, you don't even think about them anymore. You're not even considering little Johnny down the road, what his opinion was of you, you missing that first 1 or 2 takedowns because it looks sloppy. Because now you're taking little Johnny down, right? So in the beginning, when we start to get away from what are they going to say about us? What if I look stupid? What if I fail publicly? Who cares? Who cares? Do you want to do it? Do you want to become great at it? Do you want to learn it? Because if you do, the only way to get there is stop caring about what everybody else thinks. It's not because you're being arrogant, but it's because you're focused and you're trying to do something for yourself. Now, here's the fact of the matter. If you look back on your life, you've already made mistakes. You were making mistakes in 2nd grade when you didn't understand how to start doing multiplication. But at the end of the day, you started to learn how to do it and it became simple, right? You've already been judged. You've already been judged. Nobody cares what those opinions are. And you have to let those go. And you've already survived things. Look back on your life and think about those tough times, those times that you actually survived and you thrived as you worked through those things. Now, here's one last thing to think about. those opinions and those people don't pay your bills, right? And most people are not even watching you as closely as you believe they are. Now, as we kind of move forward, I want to talk a little bit about when I first started calling brokers. I was afraid and I sounded stupid, and I'm sure they knew I didn't know what I was doing. No doubt in my mind. But over time, those same brokers started to show respect. Those same brokers started giving me attention. And those same brokers started bringing me deals. And they knew as I continued forward that I wasn't just a talker, that I was a doer. And that's what you got to get to. Now, look, if you're waiting for that fear to go away, you already know it's not going anywhere. You're going to be waiting forever. So instead, I'm going to challenge you to take some action today. No matter what it is, if you're afraid to go out for a walk because you're afraid that you're out of shape, get out there and go for that walk. If you're afraid to call that broker, make those mistakes. If you're afraid to go on a run, get out there and go on a run. Anything you're afraid to do, let's take the first step today. Because at the end of the day, when this activity starts to become boring and you look back on those times that you were afraid, you're going to remember this day and the action that you took. So here's the final thing to think about. The people that win in this life are not fearless. They've just done something long enough and with enough repetition that fear is now tired and has left. All right. If you like what I'm talking about, go to thebalancemethod.com and I shall see you all later. Thank you very much. Goodbye.